Hey there, wonderful waffles. Aren't you scrumptious today? Retailers love to fondle their soap in the shower. Yes, they do. I made this meme because it's exactly hits the nail on the head with why most people are going to screw themselves in the next bull market. And look at this. Of course, the top Wojak, not happy with only one strategy, buy and hold. Sounds boring, but you gain 1,500%. That is a very realistic scenario if you are in a decent coin. Yes, it's very, very possible to get that, right? I mean, even if Ethereum does a 4x from here, and then your coin does like 3.2 or 3.3 times what Ethereum does, not hard to do. There you go. Bang, you got your 15 to 16x. But what do they actually go crazy for down here? People always do this. They want more strategies, 7 strategies, because people think it's like when they read these business books and they say, did you know the average millionaire has 7 sources of income? They always say this type of language, friends. People misconstrue them, what it actually means. And then they go, wow, I'm going to go do that for me in the DeFi. No, we're in a crypto Ponzi casino. It is one casino. We are all bonded to Bitcoin, whether we like it or not. If we are not bonded by liquidity and the dollars, we're actually bonded psychologically. That's right. Just like you and me, friends, baby dolls. We are friends. How long? Forever. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, press the bell button, and all. No one can take our friendship from us. So everybody goes through these 7 strategies. They go through the yield farming. Okay, yes, of course, the yield farming. They go on the leverage. They go on the mid-curve DeFi. They do different options. There's a day trading, the airdrop farming. They do so many traps that they fall into. I'm here just to show you. So when a lot of people talk about these traps, give us a solution. I want to tell you why I like these PulseChain yield farms, all right? Because I want to explain to you. So you guys have been asking me, right, guys and girls, have been asking me, can you please explain what you mean by why the other yield farms are poopy? Because they say like some people, there are some Arbitrum layer 2 Ethereum yields, and they're like, wow, 47%. What's wrong with that? I like that on Ethereum. Here is the problem we're going to go through just to show you, okay? So why these yield farms are inferior is because when you join a yield farm, you have to commit capital. All right. So if you have $5,000, okay, in ETH, okay, and then on another one, you have $5,000 in USDC, right? Or you also have $5,000 in Poop, which is their Poop coin, okay? Their Poop, okay? That is the difference. There are 3 different things you can bond your money with, okay? So you're going to be joining a pool with something else. So you might have, let's say you're in their coin. Let's say it's $5,000. Let's just call it layer 2, full-sized brain coin. This is exactly what it is, okay? So you have their coin and you like it. And you're like, well, I want to do the yield farming on. Here's the thing. To do the yield, to bond it and get the yield, you've got to take another $5,000 somewhere, and then you have to connect it, right? And you could connect it with the ETH. You could go, hey, let's bond with Ethereum. What's wrong with that? Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with Ethereum, of course. The only issue is that Ethereum is now in its 3rd cycle curse. So yes, you are going to face some dilemmas, okay, in the future when Ethereum is going up and well, look, I'll tell you right now, okay, Ethereum's going to be up at $8,000. What's everybody's going to be saying? Not a single person is going to be saying, you know, we could go down from here. No one. All right. Now, it doesn't have to go down that far. Okay. I'm just saying. What's everybody's going to be saying at the top? They're going to be saying $10,000 is programmed. Okay. They're going to be happy faces. $10,000 is programmed. 12,000, 4,000. We're going to flip everything. All right. And I'm saying, yeah, I hope it does. But what if it doesn't? Okay. Just like how I can flip a coin. I'm like, well, I hope we don't get tails 2 times in a row. But what if it does? Have you planned for that? So don't get everything out and don't get everything in. I'm just saying, perhaps it's wise to think about what about how our disappointment levels if Ethereum stops up here. What if we stop up here, man? What if I actually have to use the unfortunate hammer emoji? And you know I don't like using the hammer emoji. So keep your back straight, please. I love you, friends, so much. You don't understand how much I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you very much, okay? I'm doing this for free for you. I'm investing in your future. You pay me nothing, literally 0. And if at the end you feel like you made it, tip me 1 Ethereum, okay? And your friendship. But you pay your friendship right now. When it comes to these, what if I have to use the dreaded hammer emoji? If you think about that, I don't want to use that dreaded hammer emoji, okay? It's evil. It's cursed. What if it happens, man? You got a plan. If that happens, you got to think about it. All right, let's walk forward into the future. If it happens, right, what's everybody going to be saying down there? You see this down that part? What's everyone going to be saying? They're going to be saying, oh my gosh, I wish I went more aggressive in the previous bear market. So it's 2025 now. They'll say, well, I wish I went super hard in 2022 and 2023 during that bear market. And I wish I went outside of the blue chips, outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I wish I bought more of the altcoins. I wish I went into asymmetric upside growing network effects. That's what people are going to say on average. So you can cheat. We're cheating, friends. I'm here. We're actually like doing a bit of remote viewing into the future, going like, wow, you know, we can avoid that right now by allocating right now. That's why we take advantage of these. But of course, what are people saying to themselves? They're saying, well, what about the yield farms? Because the yield farms are great, but if Ethereum only stops at that price that I just showed you, you know, that price isn't good, friend. That price is only 4x from here. Like it's okay. Okay, can I ask you, is your clip size 250K? Like is each bullet you throw in, are you throwing in 250K? Because you get a 4x on your 250K, you get a nice round number, 1 million. The yield on that is nice. But most of you aren't doing that. You're like, well, the most I can put in is like 3 grand, 5 grand, 15K, 20K max, depending on the country you're in, 6 grand, 4 grand, hundreds of dollars of DCA. Okay. And thinking about the money coming in, like let's say you say, hey, I want to commit to the next 6 months, put $100 of DCA money in. That $100 in Ethereum is only $400 up here. All right, I'd just rather take the punt somewhere else. This is why I'm not sending you to take a punt, but we got to do better. We can do better. So even with something, I'll use the best example with something like Ethereum. If you are in this yield farm, so you've got $5,000 of their layer 2 staked, whatever it is, and you got $5,000 with ETH, that $5,000 of Ethereum could be deployed, okay? And it's the same with these other coins. What about USDC? USDC right here, okay? What about, okay, you're like, all right, well, you know, what about Ethereum? I have stable coins sitting there. Like USDC is even worse because at least in a couple of years, there's a good chance Ethereum is up 4x from here. It's like $8,000, okay? That's a bearish scenario. So always think about the bearish scenario. You got to protect yourself. Just like you get in a car, you're like, well, I know I'm not going to crash, 99% chance, but I'm going to wear a seatbelt just in case. I don't want to crash, but if I did crash, I'm protected. All right. Now, when it comes to USDC, I mean, what's USDC's value going to be on the maximum upside in 2 or 3 years? It's literally going to be $1, and it would never be anything more than that. Nothing. So that's another way to think about it. Why would you hold something such that in a few years it's only $1? Okay, and it's $1 today. All right, that's another way to think. Now, of course, it's tongue-in-cheek because, of course, stablecoins are great when everything capitulates and goes down. Don't you wish you had lots of stablecoins here? Go, yeah, but the cycle's moving. All right. We've already gone through everybody crying and wanting to jump off a cliff. Okay, we're now moving forward. You can't think about the past. You can't invest for today. You can't be in that zone, friends. We are peanut brains, and peanut brains say, well, humans have been getting better for the past 100 years. Maybe we'll get better for the next 100 years. Okay, that's how we're thinking. Okay, peanut brains. So this $5,000 in USDC, think about what it could have done in any of the coins, any of another core coin that we're talking about. Okay, I'll just bring the core coins quickly back up. Like, think about it, man. Like, it's so much better just to pick anything else, all right? Now, of course, there is also $5,000 of poop. You might think, well, what about $5,000 of poop? What about their poop coins? Poop coins in these other protocols, unfortunately, now, most people are going to make the mistake of following into this trap because they don't know about my channel. They don't know Metcalfe's Law. You type in Metcalfe's Law, right? Metcalfe, just type in Metcalfe, right? So Metcalfe, there's so many videos. Oh my God, look at this free, juicy, beautiful Look at this content. Crypto leaders and their core beliefs. Like, who goes to this detail to explain to you for free? Because I appreciate and love you so much. I believe you deserve better. I show you each coin and like, hey, this thing went up. Why? More people came in. Metcalfe's Law. That's actually the reason why these things go up. So when you're buying these new poop coins, I know I use the word poop, but they're not going to be described as poop, okay? They're going to be on protocols with nice logos. They're going to be on something that looks like this. Libra, right? Instadap, PulseXX, right? By the way, insiders, so many of these. Asymmetrics. Look at this. I mean, it's freaking got this 4-dimensional genius mathematic shape. What type of shape is that? I've never seen it before in my life. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this an ice cube? You know, our friends, I think, you know what? It's very easy to win me over. You'd be surprised. This is an Ice Cube logo, but it's Ethereum. We can't touch this. It's just, see, unshackled Ethereum. It's just, come on, man. They got me excited with the Ice Cube logo now. Bloody hell. All right. You see what I mean, friends? You get your hopes up. You just witnessed it with me. We got so high, and we're like, damn it. Then you peel beneath the covers, and you realize that that ice cube's melting. You know, it's room temperature the whole time. So you have to think about your options here, right? So I've given you what 99% of people are doing most of the time. $5,000 in Ethereum is the safest, but still, what if we get a third cycle curse? You're going to regret it. $5,000 in USDC, yeah, it can't go down, but hey, if you're in this game for 2 years, it can't go up either, right? So that $5,000 portion that you've put in is still $5,000, right? What about the poop coin as we just went through? There's no network. Where's the network? They just make a new project, a new protocol, new layer 2. You don't know how strong that community is. That's what you have to do the research. Of course, everybody believes they got the golden poop coin, okay? So, but are you doing the research with that? Or are you just seeing people on Twitter? Because this is what I'm saying, friends. You go through Twitter, you scroll down, and they're like, wow, PulseX, oh, what's Radiant? Wow, these sound like cool names. Then you dig in, you go through, man, I'm doing all these posts. There's insiders dumping. There's people who front run the Binance listing. And here's one of the coins like Radiant. Everyone's going to yield farming. So I even made this post. This is from March. By the way, March, friends. Here I said, I got told, look at this. Just read this with me, please. Look, this is the information I bring out for you. That's why you got to be on top of it. I got told by a guy that I should buy Radiant. So then I investigated myself. It was already plus 800%. Coincidentally, wow. Look when he's so motivated to tell me to buy. I discovered it's nothing but a bridged Aave fork with plus 100% token inflation in 2023. Yes, plus 100% inflation this year. In 2020, retailers also got exploited by evil DeFi scum and influencers. Won't repeat, you know. So here I have the pool. Like, look at this big, giant inflation. You see this like zoop, 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 zoop. You know, this inflation. You got to be yield farming. It is what it is. Like, it's always the same game. Look when they told me about it. Like, they told me the exact moment up here. Bang. And here is the actual chart. Just to show you, right? So the good thing is this coin has held up value since March. So, but look when people tell you about this stuff, friends. They tell you about them here. Like, congratulations. Like, this is literally how much it ran up. Like, thank you very much. Okay, it's up. All right, literally 1,000%. Okay, now I've got to get in for the time of my life. And then you're buying into the topsy. So, yes, it did hold better than these other ones. But on average, for every time someone tells you this is like the one coin you'll find like, oh, wow, it actually didn't go down that much, like compared to everything else that dropped a lot. And what's interesting as well, if you put it on the Ethereum chart, all it's done is just match with Ethereum here. So I've just changed it here for the ETH. So this is what's always happening. People are just shilling stuff at the top. It's just becomes so dangerous. And, you know, you got to do like this full-time investigation work. You're like, okay, the inflation's coming now. Okay, who gets the inflation? Is it locked? You go check out and you do all these, right? And then like 99.9% of the time, they're dumping no matter what anyway. Even with perfect mechanics, there's so many pitfalls in this game. This is why when I see these PulseX yield farms, it's fantastic. Not the stablecoin ones, okay? So you have PulseX and Pulse, you can earn 20%. Hex and Pulse, you can earn 30, 35%. I don't recommend touching Ink because it's probably for advanced people who want to punt and stuff. But this is just fantastic. And then the Hex gives you the native yield, which is fantastic. If you lock it up for long enough, you get like the 20, 30%, whatever it is, whatever the total amount is. But at the end of the day, these alternatives, okay, you got to consider all of them. So why does everybody actually go and do stuff like this? It's because of the certainty, all right? Because they're getting something. There's a treasury. What they do is they put a treasury pot, okay? If there's even a treasure here. Yes, they put coins basically out here and they say, look at this. This coin is inside a box and it is a reward. And if you come here and then you bind 2 coins, you will be able to get out the coins and they will come directly into you. So this marketing is so powerful for people to come in and just participate and think they're early to something. But really, at the end of the day, what they end up doing is it never stops there. It's never just, okay, we'll just do one. It's always multiple strategies. This yield farming, and they're adding the leverage on it. This is what, you know, all this stuff is mid-curve DeFi. They're using the staked Ethereum. Remember, all these platforms coming out, all these platforms I'm showing you. So these are, liquid staking derivatives, right? So liquid staking derivatives, they're going to be pushed in front of retailers to trap them, right? So what they're going to do is they take your staking yield income. So you don't actually lose, there's no loss. So you can if you put in 10 Ethereum, you get yield income, okay? So they can only gamble with your yield part. You'll always have that 10 Ethereum. So you're losing on the opportunity costs when you think about it. That's all you're doing, okay? And they'll do leverage on that yield. They try to like really maximize that tiny little breadcrumb. That's what they're focusing on. All because you have that big yield. So I even have that little bit of yield, right? So this table here just goes through like all these different projects, for example. But look, I've even told you right now, you make more by deploying ETH into strong alts. So when you're playing all these games and doing all this yield farm stuff, it's fascinating to me because people are so scared of loss. What they're willing to do is they get the Ethereum. This is what it is. They get the Ethereum and they get the yield. So we're going to get the Ethereum here and you're going to get your little yield, which is going to be, right? Your little yield is going to be a little plant because, yay, little plant is going, okay? This little yield. Now, this Ethereum part, people put it in and they're like, I am so risk averse. I don't want to lose this at all. I can't bear the thought. I have put in 10 Ethereum. I want to have 10 Ethereum by the end of it. And so they're exploiting the fact that people don't want to lose at all. And then they'll hyper focus on this tiny little breadcrumb yield, right? Because you're making like 5% per year. So if you do that, friends, look how tiny this is. And okay, so 5% per year roughly is how much per month? 0.41%. Like, congratulations, okay? 0.41% every month. Tiny amounts. You need like large amounts for it to bother. So what they'll do is they go, well, 0.41% per month. That's actually not that much. So what they'll do is they'll try add leverage. They'll try add like a 3x leverage where, you know, you try to punt with it and they try to make the different coins and try to turn it into 1%. But look at this thing, okay? Even with a 3x leverage, okay, this is the funny part. Even with 3x leverage, by the end of the year, you'll have 15%. So I'm just gonna show you, right? So you made plus 15% more ETH in 1 year on this 3x leverage, okay? But here's the thing. Because you were so focusing on this tiny little yield, you missed the big picture, okay? If you deployed your ETH, instead of a tiny 15% yield, you could get back plus 300% yield, right? Or even like 900% to 1000%. That's 9x to 10x. 9x to 10x versus Ethereum. That's on your Ethereum. So on your Ethereum, 9 to 10x of your ETH. That's actually the yield part. But because there's a chance of it going down, they're like, oh, what is it? What? I don't want to take that pain anymore. And what I've done here, I'm showing you now, this is the Pulse ETH chart, okay? Pulse ETH chart. So just to show you, if you deployed your Ethereum here, let's say you literally converted one Ethereum here, okay? What you can do is you just find out, you go, okay, if we get to the target up here, if we do, let's say we were able to do a 10x, somehow we'll do a 10x. Like, if you're able to do a 10x, this is against Ethereum, by the way, 10x against Ethereum, you will have 10 Ethereum up here, okay? You have 10 ETH value up here. You started with 1, okay? You started with 1. You deploy 1 ETH down here. See that? See that yield? But you're probably wondering, why don't people do it? Well, it's because of the risk. You know why they didn't do it. It's because they're like, crap, there's a chance I can lose this Ethereum if Pulse doesn't exceed. If we drop 70%, then my 1 Ethereum is only worth 0.3 Ethereum, and that's really going to suck. So as you can see, these games, friends, these games that everybody's playing, and that's what they are. Everything's a game, really. It's all coming down to this tiny little yield, okay? That's what it is. Don't forget, if you deploy your ETH, instead of that tiny 15%, you can get back like 300% up to 900 or 1,000%. That's the game. That's the game. Make 3, 4, 5. As long as you're beating Ethereum, you kill it. So don't forget, at the end of the day, right, multiple strategies and gimmicks, they're just going to make it look like you're earning more. So someone's going to have, you know, different yield farms and the stable coins and this. They're going to have like all these different protocols. People keep adding, think they're diversifying, but it's not the truth, okay? The truth is you end up with less. Okay, you end up in less, but you might say, no, I'm gaining, and that's why I'm telling you. What if we flip tails 2 or 3 times in a row on the coin? What if it's just tails, okay? What if the unfortunate scenario happens where we stop lower than everybody thinks? Then you will regret it, man. You will regret it. I'll tell you right now. Okay, think of all the people who bought Bitcoin at 30K. I bet they wish they bought it at 5K after the zombie virus, right? So nothing, and I do mean nothing, comes close to buying spot coins aggressively during the depression phase and then offloading in euphoria. Now we've got some friendly comments for you. So Mr. Memerize has said, I provided liquidity. So this is on PulseChain, right? So he's talking about these yield farms. I provided liquidity for wrapped Bitcoin from the Ethereum Pulse, right? While wrapped Bitcoin was pumping and Pulse wasn't, and he benefited from the impermanent gain of that, right? So there really isn't, friends. It's a divergence loss. It stopped it when it was profitable. So these little things, I know somehow, like, yes, the yield comes out ahead, but when you do liquidity farming or yield farming, you got to sit there 12 to 24 months. So that's why when I saw this yield farm, I was like, wow, this is actually the perfect, and I really do mean perfect, like it's a perfect glove for a hand. It's like, well, I want to be bullish on these coins and I want to do something in them. What better way than to do something with them than actually earn yield? You got your Hex earning your staking yield, your Pulse or PulseX, there's the trading fees, it's all participating. It's a symbiotic ecosystem that has so much upside. And the most important part is, remember, we go back to the network effects. There's 200,000 community members, man. Yes, we're kicking and screaming. Of course, there's prices down, ain't going perfect. Who cares, man? There's so many people here. They're not going to shield something else in like 6 months. With all these other mid-curve DeFi stuff, who knows? Maybe like there's another season on another chain. How do you know it's going to be Arbitrum? What if Optimism has a season? And then those chains that are doing Aave forks and all these other forks out there, what if like their users be like, you know what? I am only loyal to the yield. They might be getting 5% in one place. Someone else offers 6.5%. They just go and move over. They don't really care. It's because they're holding their Ethereum coin. They don't really care. It's all under the Ethereum umbrella. But for this, you can go offer me, and other chains have. Like the other chains offer me, hey, buy my poop coin with USDC. We'll give you like 100%. Well, I don't want your poop coin. Okay, I'm happy with holding these. This is in part of my selection here. I want to hold these for the future. I'm playing for if December 2025, if we're lucky enough to get the bull run all that whole way, because you know the community is going to be here. They've already demonstrated that they didn't leave in a minus 98% drop. So what would they leave in? You got to think about that. And I'd like another comment to be highlighted here. I think it's really important, friends, because here, so Mr. Trap Science has just said, good point. I'm only going to yield farm until I have a comfortable amount. Then I will hodl after. So I got to clarify for these, just, you know, I have to fit everything in the space. If you're yield farming in PulseX and Pulse, it's basically free money. I don't want to use the word free money, but like if you're holding for 24 months, you're like, well, I'm holding both anyway. Don't really care. Like it's the same psychological makeup of both. You're earning the yield. It is what it is, right? Hex and Pulse, I mean, everyone's worried about, okay, which one's going to overtake each other? Man, just have both. They're both great. Who cares? You know what I mean? You're going to be fooling yourself trying to predict exactly which one. I'm not touching any of these stable coins. So Mr. Trap Science here, I personally, I would not be too reliant on these yields here, on these stable coin yield farms. Because what people tend to do is they go on this APR and they go, well, you know, I got $50,000. And they'll say, okay, in 1 year, I'll have made $200,000. So what I'm going to do is, in like 6 months, I've made my HODL stack, I've replaced everything else, and I've rebought that in. That's what people are doing. But what they don't know is, it's potentially likely that in 30 days from now, this 160% is down to like 80%. And then in 30 days from that, it's down to like 50%. Right? So then you're sitting here calculating your imaginary 1 year return on 50K. You're like, wow, I'm going to make 200K just from this if I sit there. But the yields keep dropping exponentially as people come in. And this is why I replied to Mr. Trap Science saying, yield farming, it only makes sense on PulseX because you are holding moonshot potential coins on them. So you're both Hex, Pulse, PulseX, Pulse. Hopefully the EHEX ones come back. Honestly, if it doesn't even matter, you're staked. You get the yield anyway. At least you feel like you're doing some working capital in the background, right? It really is a psychological boost. I said, for everything else, you're holding ETH, all the poops, all the stables in their farm, and they're always better to be deployed. Okay, so this is the example, right? So we might find if Ethereum goes from $2,000 to $3,000 in the next 12 months, we might find that Pulse is up like 3x, right? Now, obviously, everyone's like 3x is nothing, but hey, it's better. Look at this. ETH went up 50%. We went up 3x, right? So we gained on Ethereum. That's exactly what you want to see, especially in the early legs of the bull. Now, of course, friends, I have one super most important final concluding message from friend Bandit, and that is the best strategy is friendship with Somi. Thank you very much. I'm going to catch you in the next one, friends. Like, subscribe, bell button, or tell mom and dad we're still going to make it. Be careful of those yield farms. Only stay in the ones where you're confident to hodl for the next 12 to 24 months. Catch you in the next one.